compelling presentation that everything's really mathematics.
Yes.
It's all just back to math. And you have to, all these experiments you do, you're not, one of the reasons they're not considered by the high priest in physics as being real experiments is that they don't have a mathematical basis to it, and everything has a mathematical basis to it. Langdon seemed like a radical visionary. What happened to that concept?
You go back 350 years. So you have Isaac Newton, you have Leibniz. From move forward, you have people like Heisenberg and Gödel, and what every one of those mathematicians and philosophers came to understand is that there's something there's numbers can describe certain things, approximate certain things. But in fact, trying to put measurements and numbers on other things that are really unexplainable is folly. So 300 years ago, they said that unexplainable realm was God. And people who attempted, in fact, to explain the unexplainable, who said, yes, I understand the unexplainable, were charlatans, they were the occults, they were the astrologers, they were the con men.
Alchemist.
Yes, well, no, alchemist was, in fact, they believed that there was a way to transmute one metal into another. In fact, they always wanted to see if they can create gold. There's no reason, if you think about it, they recognize that one metal is different than another metal because it has some additional pieces to it. It has additional neutrons or protons or electrons. So because they thought it was a machine, they believed it was a machine, if I can take 5 protons and add 5, that gives me 10, I should be able to get gold. Move everything around inside these systems, the molecules transmute one molecule into another, and if this molecule I've transmuted it into is gold, I'm a rich man. It's back to money. But there's something strange happens. Isaac Newton says, this is really weird. If I want to push a ball on the table, I have to touch it. Maybe I have to blow on it. But I actually have to push one side of the ball or the book to move that side. I'm pushing here, and obviously this thing is what appears to us humans to be solid, so it moves as one thing. But the only way to get something to move was to touch it or put a force against it. Okay, seems to make sense. Everybody has that experience. I want to lift a glass, I lift it. If I want to push a ball, I push it. If I want to pull a ball, I pull it. But he recognized when the ball fell off the table, it went in a different direction. How's that possible? Nobody pushed the ball down. And he said, this is crazy. Why did the ball go down? I didn't push it. I just let it go. So someone's pushing the ball, because I know that I am confident that the only thing that gets something to move is with a force that pushes. So there's a force that's pushing the ball down. In fact, he called it gravity. He measured how fast it was pulled, but never was able to explain why it happened. How is it? What is gravity? It's this. Everybody says, well, why did the ball fall to the ground? Because gravity took it. But what's gravity? That's, as Feynman would say, that's the name of the thing. We have no idea what it is. This goes to Santa Fe. They were trying to explain the unexplainable. Can we measure, can we figure out a way to predict the stock markets using these types of chaos complexity?
Before we get there, let's walk back through it. Let's go back to Newton.
Sure.
Pre-Newton and then Newton. What did Newton solve that for millennia up to Newton had not been solved? And then I want to go forward all the way to Santa Fe, what they were trying to solve. Let's start with just 2 or 3 of the basic guys, but let's go with Newton. What pre-Newton, it was what? And then why is Newton such a
genius?
In such a, in the, I think mathematically they told me one time, I've seen there's been 115 billion people roughly that have lived on the earth. And of that 115 billion, Newton.
Are you sure that's a number? That sounds very high. We only have 7 now.
I think in the history of the earth, I think I'll I'll pull up the
Okay.
stat for you, but I think it's 115 billion people they figure.
That probably is inflation, that's why you see.
Have lived
Right.
on Earth. But he's one of the handful of the most important. What did he solve for? Why is he so important for how we live today? And then we want to go through Leibniz and the other, two or three other major ones to get us to Santa Fe.
Well, it's a long journey.
This is the heart of what we're trying to do.
Let me take a bit of a detour
Okay.
just a second. What if you went to high school and the last year in your high school, you took calculus. So Isaac Newton sort of invents calculus. Well, that sounds invents, mathematicians.
To torture seniors in high school before they graduate.
Yes, but obviously, no, yes, the answer is yes. Certain people could never do calculus.
Why is it? Why is calculus why is that the dividing line between, to me, people who can handle that and can go on to do certain things, and people just hit the wall, even if they know math? It seems to me that that calculus is the thing that changes. It bridges. That's because it's about the theory of change and the theory of how things change.
It's a great question, but in fact, what calculus does is it's somewhat philosophical. That's why mathematics is Newton wasn't a mathematician; he was called a geometer. That's what they used to call themselves. They understood geometry and numbers, but there's an old conundrum where it says and during Pythagoras' days, Zeno's paradox it's called, where they said, well, if the wall is 2 feet away from me, and I take one step that's halfway to the wall, that'll be 1 foot away, and if I take another step that's half again, that'll be half a foot away, and then a quarter of a foot, I could walk forever but never touch the wall. Doesn't sound realistic, doesn't make any sense in our real lives of the physical. But what Newton understood is many problems were like that. Many things approached the wall, or in calculus, approached the limit, but never really reached it. So he said, it's okay, you don't have to reach. We can do lots of the mathematics as if it was so close, it was almost there. And we could do lots of mathematics almost being at the limit. And this is really important, Steve, for today. Because most of the science up until today was things that are starting to approach the limit. You were taught in high school that if you had 1 divided by 0, if you remember your high school algebra, you were told, what's the answer to that? Is there an answer to 1 divided by 0? No, if you were in high school, I'd say, stay away from it. It's the boogeyman. You could write it down as it's undefined. It's not able to be determined. There's a bunch of things. But in fact, 1 divided by 0 is a strange things happen. It's a world of the strange. And what I'll explain to you after is that when you get 1 divided by 0, you get into a world we don't know what happens. The answer is it's not explainable. We can call it things like undetermined. We can have a convention to say it's X, Y, or Z, but in real life, we don't know what happens when you are actually at the limit. So Newton thought the same concept, is that the limits were God. You got close to God, but you could never be God. He had this sort of religious interpretation.
Okay, I want to go back to Newton. Why is Newton such a big dividing line in mankind's history? What is it about Newton? What is it about what he tried to solve? What did they not know beforehand? And because we live to a degree in a Newtonian universe, although I realized later subparticle atomic physics, but at least for a while it was Newtonian. So what's the dividing line? Why is he so important? Why is he an inflection point in mankind's movement from the swamp to the stars?
That's a great question. Because stars were by Kepler. What Newton starts to allow us to do is to make accurate predictions. Remember that we've talked about that with money, about the things in our physical world. How cars, he didn't have cars, how horse carriages moved, how bowling balls moved, how pool cues and pool pool table balls
And
with
people
the,
tried to solve that before Newton? Had
Many-
people
many-
tried it?
many-
Heraclitus or, Plotinus, Pythagoras, had these greats that we hear about, had they tried to solve the same problem?
not the same problem. They try to, again, what the Pythagoras does, he starts to figure out this relationships in triangles. For example, everyone knows the a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, that Pythagorean theorem, which is basically says these shapes in a triangle, each side of the triangle has a fixed relationship with the other two sides. That's strange. He knew, again, that it was all numbers. This was a system of things in the physical world, and Pythagoras says we can start putting numbers on things that help you predict how they will behave. You can add two triangles and make a square, some different shapes. They were looking at geometric forms. Newton says, well, I want to know how planets move. I want to know how things around me move. Can we find formulas? Can I find formulas that explain what I see in the physical world, how physical things interact and how they describe one another? Again, the fact that two things, two solid masses, for some very strange, unknown reason, unknown today, attract one another, no matter what they are. People have seen the experiment. You hang something, two little metal balls from a string, and they move towards each other. In fact, they move towards each other was very specific. So when you drop the ball to the floor of this room, Newton says, in fact, the room came up a bit to meet the ball. The room moved. It's imperceptible. You can't really perceive that motion, but they attracted each other with certain ratios. So he started to be able to measure things in the physical world. And that was great advances. It also, you wanted to move very quickly. Unfortunately, most people, especially in the 20th century, 19th century, said, well, like Newton, let's measure everything. Let's measure people's behavior. Let's measure their psychology. Let's measure their health. You go to we can have my blood test. Let's measure everything. We measure Wall Street.
Their voting habits.
Measure, measure, measure. Can we put a number on how much I care for my wife? Can I put a number on how I feel? And we tried, unfortunately, we tried to mathematize the finer things in life, and then recognized that there's things that, unfortunately, just fall outside. Schrodinger wrote a very famous book about what is life. He was trying to figure out a way, can he describe the difference formulaically between things that are alive and things that are dead? The answer is no. The things that are alive in my world are miracles, not magic. Magic has a bad connotation,
We
trying
don't
to
believe
hide
in
things.
you don't believe in the spirit or the soul. That's what animates people, is your spirit or your soul. That's
No.
but have you ever seen someone die? When they die, their spirit leaves.
Their soul leaves, no question. So in
There's no
fact,
question of you about
no
that.
question.
There's no question of you that there is some animating life force within us that leaves when you're dead.
Yes, in fact, I refer to the soul. There's obviously a certain, the questions in the past, even
Because
during
people would normally think you were soulless. So
Thank you.
But have you talk about you actually believe in it and have done some thinking about it is pretty shocking in its own right, isn't it?
well, again, mathematics, Leibniz thought,
So
said,
Newton was at Cambridge, and he was the head of the math department, right? He's a professor, essentially. But Leibniz, was Leibniz a German professor?
yes. But what Leibniz said is, the soul is so strange, because God took chemicals, which is simply the material, like tables, and he somehow made this material able to have a thought. How strange is that? Not only does it have a soul, but some way it was put together that this material substance is able to think. So when you say to me, it's obvious to everyone that there's such a thing as a soul. Now, if you're part of the Charlatanville, you'll try to explain it to people. The soul I describe as the dark matter of the brain. Why is it dark matter? Because in high energy physics nowadays, you hear terms of dark matter, dark energy. Again, terminology, it's a complicated term. Why is it dark matter? Because we can't see it, that's all. What do you mean you can't see it? Well, somehow we see something moving towards this area of darkness. Something, I can see this thing. This appears to me to be empty. It's just black. But I see it being drawn this way. So I say, well, I know if this were matter, that would follow that equation. If this was solid, it would explain the way this particle moves. But I can't see anything here. So I'll just call it dark matter. And I'll say, I don't know what it is, but it behaves as if there was something there. The soul is obvious to everyone that there's something different between things that are alive and things that are not alive. But we have no idea what it is. It's currently unexplainable. I believe we need an entirely different system of analysis to try to figure out.
But
Sorry.
No, with Newton, with all his alchemical studies and things he worked on the spiritual side, Leibniz that just talked about the soul, Schroeder talked about what is life. If a modern scientist or someone that you funded at MIT or at Harvard or one of these things talked in those types of terms, they would be considered to be a wingnut today, wouldn't they? They would not be. They would not be on the path for tenure, right?
Unless they were in the philosophy department.
This is exactly my point. We're talking about three of the greatest mathematicians in mankind's history that have really changed mankind. Talking like this, what happened? How do we get to a situation where they could not be in the high physics, they could not be in the mathematics department or working in high energy physics?
Good, it's an easy answer. Newton was a combination of mathematician or geometer then and philosopher. And as time went on, those disciplines seemed to move apart. You had philosophy, some of the philosophers can't do math, and some of the mathematicians. And again, mathematicians often break into two categories. People that solve problems, those are more like geometers in the old days, just problem solvers. And then there's thinkers, theoreticians. They're more like the old movement towards philosophy. But neither one of those two groups have been able to figure out why something is alive as opposed to something that's not alive. No one's been able to describe what the soul is, but we all know it exists. And I think what we need is a new, science is a bad word. I think science only describes the things we already know about the physical world. In fact, there's an argument that the physical world that we see has been created out of our systems of mathematics. Mathematics, everyone knows mathematics describes the physical world much greater than it should, unless you, in my view, the physical world really comes out of conscious beings that have mathematics. So they create it. This table appears to you and I to be solid. To a bat, because we have light that's bouncing off the table into our eyes, it appears solid. If instead of eyes that responded to wavelengths of visual light, our eyes responded to radio waves, the radio frequencies, it's not different, it's the same type of frequency as light, but different speeds, the table's invisible. We know that our phone works in this room. So the waves are coming through the windows, the waves are coming through the walls. So the walls are invisible to that type of radiation, that type of energy. The walls are, I can see them because my eyes, a physical system determines that the walls are there.
You, with Murray Gell-Mann, you founded, or were the original donor, and had the idea of Santa Fe Institute. In 10 or 15 years later, that effort to study the complexity of systems mathematically.
Yes.
Was
it's a total failure. Yes.
A total failure.
Total failure.
Why is that?
It's the failure of science because, in fact, if to some extent science doesn't describe romance. I don't know why I'm attracted to somebody. I don't know. people are attracted to each other, and everyone has the same feeling. They've seen someone walk in the room, and they say, oh, that person gives me a creepy feeling. Science has tried to describe, science doesn't describe what creepy feelings means. They just know it's a creepy feeling. I think women, as I said the last time, have an intuitive sense. What is intuitive? They have intuition, they have feelings, and they're able to deal in the realm of things that men, especially men like myself, find unexplainable. They have women have intuition, men see things a bit differently. Men want to measure everything. Women are not really that interested in measuring.
In what you're saying in macro terms, you actually think science, mathematics, maybe ultimately technology, is moving to that more intuitive.
I think science and math are old-fashioned. And unfortunately, people are still taught that they have to learn algebra at school and certain things in school, as opposed to learning to have an emotion.
Is this what Larry Summers was trying to get at? Maybe he didn't say it perfectly enough, but what he was trying to get to in that system, the systems we study today, the way mathematics is either taught or understood, that women just haven't gotten up to the highest realms of engineering or physics or mathematics because of that, and you're actually implying that there's a either new branch of science, or we've hit an inflection point like in Newton that's going to go in a Newton took mankind in a different direction because he was able to measure. Then you had subatomic, non-Newtonian physics later. Are you saying that you think there's another developing field that's coming up that may take us, I don't know how many decades to get our hands around, but that's what's evolving out of this?
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I think that mathematics, it's not the end of science. Every year someone says it's the end of, we can't discover everything. There's lots to discover with a relationship to the physical world, but we know a lot already. In respect to the unexplainable world, we almost know nothing. Women, again, sense it. And instead of Larry Summers, I won't digress too much, but Howard Gardner early on said, there's not one form of intelligence. It's not mathematical intelligence. There's emotional intelligence, this kinesthetic intelligence. There's this argument that I reject that black people are less intelligent than white people. It's not true. We know, for example, that if I was in the forest and I had to run from the lion or figure out a way not to be eaten, and my competition is a local African, I'm the one who's getting eaten because they have the intelligence to deal with their local environment. So it's just different. It's not better, it's not worse, but there's many differences amongst different types of people. And so people have different intelligences, and they excel in some intelligences usually, and less so in others.
When did it come to, because the world of high finance is a world of pure reason, or is it a lot of emotion and gut checks and on trading desks and central banks when these decisions get made? Is it that high church, like the high church of science of high energy physics, or is it as much emotion that comes in as much as the mathematics and the reason?
It's a great question. I think if you talk to really experienced and successful traders, and you ask them how they know what's going on, they can't give you an answer. They don't know. They feel it. They can feel the way the market's moving. They can feel the way the stock's moving. And that these are not very well-defined terms. It's difficult to put in mathematics terms. How did I feel it? You could look back and make guesses what I was seeing. But great traders feel it and then act on their feelings. That's the difference. Many people feel it but are afraid because they want a mathematical justification before they take that next step.
When you first got on the trading desk at Bear Stearns in the late 70s or mid 70s, were you shocked by how little actual understanding of mathematics that the traders comprehended?
Yeah, well, again, we had a Texas Instrument calculator. Most stockbrokers, especially before 1975, if they were good stockbrokers, could add. That's about it. They could multiply. If you could multiply, you were already in the top 15% of stockbrokers. Stockbrokers simply meant there's a story When I went to the first person, I had no money. And I said, how much money do you make a year? And he said, $400,000. Impossible. I'm making $10,000.
That's probably more than your family had made in its entire
Right.
existence.
Yes. And he makes it in a year. I said, what do you do? And he said, it's too complicated for you to understand. Which is what the main thrust of Wall Street people, they want to tell you it's too complicated. Because if you understood that that person was simply, he had a brother-in-law, in fact, in this case, who ran the pension fund at General Motors. His brother-in-law would call him and say, buy 1,000 IBM. He'd hang up the phone, he'd write it out on a ticket and walk it to a window. That was his entire skill set. Hello, write what my brother-in-law says, walk it to a ticket window.
Give me an example when you were on the trading desk in the early days of Bear Stearns of a time that you felt either complete uncertainty or you saw total panic, where something was happening that people couldn't foretell and that they were like in an airplane cockpit where it's going wrong. Walk us through that.
In 1978, I think it was, across the news wires, there had been a collapse of the currency in Thailand. On the other side of the world, had no relationship to me. I wasn't sure where Thailand was. But the fact that a currency, a country's money, had all of a sudden dropped tremendously in value, affected the rest of the world's markets. And people panicked because they'd never seen that before. A very small part of a very complex system had a shock throughout the whole system. So prices on Park Avenue apartments, the bond markets, the stock markets, every started to gyrate. You know, there's an old mathematics expression that if a butterfly wings in Mexico make the wrong turn, it spins out, and eventually, by the time it gets to Canada, it turns into a tornado. So these are part of complex systems. So yeah, Wall Street in certain parts.
Santa Fe Institute was supposed to actually come up with a formula for that, for the butterfly wings. Why in 15 years did you reach the end of at least that experiment?
Every attempt to, that's why it's so exciting now, because I think certain people are starting to realize that there's so many things that are unexplainable that we have to think about them differently. Music is a great example. It's a common man's example. You know when you hear a certain song, it makes you feel a certain way. How does it do that? We don't know. We can't mathematize it. And even that music, Steve, nowadays we compress music. When you have a violin, it's compressed onto your iPhone. So what does compression mean? I'm taking lots of information and I'm cutting it into lots of pieces and squishing it together. And when I squish it or compress it, I have to take out lots of pieces, but I say that they're not very important pieces. It's those pieces that we take out when we compress data, to me, are the most interesting parts of life.
You just said a while ago, part of this new search for science may go back to when people were actually talking about a soul, and you said there's no doubt in your mind that there is a soul. Describe for me what you mean by that. What do you mean by soul? What do you mean soul different than the physical analog body that we're seeing on film right now?
It's difficult to describe in words. I mean, I'm not a poet. Poems get a little closer to what that really means. But even the concept of what is life becomes complicated when you deal with plants and seeds. Is a seed alive? I don't know. Certain people would say, no, it's dead. When you're a banana, one of my favorite examples is the banana that's sitting on the countertop in your kitchen today. Is it alive or dead?
What do you think about human life? Tell me about human life.
But your banana is alive. That banana's breathing. It's on your, you say, that's impossible, Jeffrey. No, it's not.
Is the banana conscious?
All these are words. So everyone's trying to fit a very complicated concepts into a very small box called conscious or alive. These don't fit in that way. So if you put your banana in a bag and put another fruit in with it, The fruit ripens faster because the banana breathes with it. We don't understand most of those things. So you asked the big question. Sorry.
You talk about the life. What about human life?
What about it?
Tell me, what do you think? What do you think human life is?
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. And when I say miracle, I can't explain it, and I make no attempt to explain it at the moment. We don't know how to think about it. And anyone, again, another one of the Feynman quotes when he was talking about quantum physics. He said, anyone, Jeffrey, who says they understand quantum physics and quantum mechanics and quantum behavior, you know they're lying.
Let's talk about it. That's post-Newtonian. Talk about what's the difference. Who founded quantum mechanics? Why is quantum mechanics taking Newtonian physics and taking it to the next level?
It forms a much broader category.
Let's go back to this desk. You used the thing of Newton using this desk. Why can't Newton's theory explain everything? Why did subatomic quantum mechanics or quantum physics have to come in to explain this?
Well, so let's go right back to square one. Why is it called quantum physics? So quanta is a word that simply means packet, small amount. So it's quantized. So we recognized, when we recognized that this table appears, another very complicated word, solid to us, it's really made up of molecules or atoms. And atoms, we've given lots of names to what some of the behaviors. If you were in school, when you and I were in school in the 50s, the model was a little center thing in the middle, and an electron went around and around it. It was seen as a ball that went around and around it. And as we started to look at, say, well, let's see what this ball looks like. I want to be able to examine that little thing called an electron. We found that there was nothing there. There wasn't the thing. It was simply a cloud of energy that we can call an electron. So we already started to see mysterious things as we go into very super small quantities, quantum physics. So quantum physics started to go into the very small, and at very small distances, we see things that we can't explain. We just cannot explain.
How am I doing on time?
4 minutes.
Fine.
And to summarize, no, sorry.
Let's go back to human life. When do you think human life starts?
It's not these. So you see, this is the question. You're asking me to measure something again. It's the disease.
It can't be measured. You just hate making commitments.
That's why I'm not married.
I'm peeling this onion back a layer at a time. All your bullshit and happy target can't be measured like that. Is that to say measure it's a commitment. You don't even like a commitment when you answer a question.
I don't know.
As they say in golf, commit to the shot.
I don't know what it means to be measured.
You do know what it means to be measured. You're one of the leading currency traders, hedge fund guys, or stock market financial wizards. You're in the high priesthood of high finance. You certainly know how to measure. That's why you're a billionaire. Any other answer besides that is total and complete bullshit, and you know it.
I know very few things.
You know things to be measured. You measure every day. You weigh and measure every day. You weigh and measure people. You weigh and measure leaders. You weigh and measure economies. You weigh and measure politics.
It's a very good.
You weigh and measure. You weigh.
Hang on.
Your whole life, in fact, is measuring.
So what you've now done is a great thing, is you've used the word measure, a mathematic term, in the common vernacular and abused it. So I don't even recognize what it means. It's so abusive to my field.
Why? And let's go to that. In mathematics, measure means what specifically?
There's no specific. It's an approximation, or giving something a number. Einstein said,
we're not asking you to go to the ninth decimal point.
Oh, you didn't say that before.
No, you're not going to the ninth.
I don't even. What if I say measure how tall are you? You'd say in your case 6 foot.
6 feet.
But is it 6 foot 1 inch?
Give or take, between 5'11" and 6 feet.
But what's that? So the question is, I want an accurate.
I got Zeno's paradox.
I don't even know what it means to measure you. Am I measuring the top of your hair, the top of your skull, the finer, the more.
You're being rabbinical. This is like.
I shaved my beard off. I used to be rabbinical.
No, my point is, isn't that going through the Torah where you're parsing every definition?
No, so,
however we broadly define measure, your life literally is about measurement, is it not?
it's about putting numbers on things so that I can try
But that's
my
measurement.
best. That you can call it whatever you like. If
Well,
that
what do
makes you
ca-
feel
what-
better.
What do you
No,
know?
I
Because I'm
wanna
trying
make
to
you
relate it
happy.
back to your scientific inquiry.
No, even a number. People don't. A number is a complicated
When
thing.
did you come? When did you come to this When did you come to this aha moment? Was when it was in your solitary confinement, when the biggest financial crisis in world history was going on in your 7x9 jail cell with your metal bed and your two brushes because you were a trustee with the brown uniform on, trustee spelled wrong. Is that the moment of clarity that you had about science and Newtonian physics and everything that we can measure is really not going to be the way we go forward? It's going to be much more esoteric, emotional intelligence thing. Was that your moment of clarity?
I wish it was, because it would make such a great story for this interview, but it's not. It's the fact that I lead such a privileged life to come across
But when did you? If it didn't happen then, when did it? Or did it happen before?
I was
then?
going to hopefully
Okay.
get to the.
Okay.
I'm in a privileged position to have some of the world's smartest people come to my house and tell me what they think about different subjects. And I finally realized that the thing that they had most in common was there was this area, no matter how smart they were, that when I asked them the questions, they said they'd have to resort to a 500 or 1,000-year-old response to that question, which was, I don't know.
You know who else found that out? Socrates. That's what Socrates kept doing, right? Socrates kept asking all the experts. He would go through, question after question after question, and realize at the end they didn't really know. They really didn't basically understand what they were talking about.
And one of the things that people won't enjoy, it turns out that potentially one of the bad things to teach children is how to write. Writing, reading, and arithmetic was supposed to be, everyone's supposed to be taught. But writing forces you into a very narrow channel of thinking. You have to write in a certain form, in a certain way, in a certain linear pattern. So your thinking becomes somewhat narrow. The reason I brought up writing is one of the recent discoveries of mine with respect to Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle is they never wrote anything. They spoke, and people around who could write wrote. Socrates could think. So that was.
Jesus of Nazareth was the same way, right? Never wrote anything.
I thought he was a carpenter.
He was a carpenter.
Didn't he need like a little carpenter's? No, I don't want to get that.
But at least his written record.
Right.
One last thing.
Sure. Thank you for having me to your house. Vegetable juice.
Let's go back.
Look what vegetable juice does.
When did that? The beginning of that. Was there any one aha moment in all these great thinkers? Did it happen before 2008? Was it after? That came up over, I know, many years. But when did you actually realize, hey, something new's got to be developed?
Yeah, that's great. Is that because again, I'm privileged enough to have people around me who've given lots of philanthropic gifts to institutions of higher learning, and when I said the impact, how do you judge the impact of your giving? And we sat down and said, no really new ideas have come out. And I realized that, of course, it hasn't come out because we've been looking at using science and mathematics, and it's the wrong tool. It's obvious.
Institutions that are set up and try to put forward knowledge and understanding and truth, should they take your money?
Derek Bach at Harvard said, taking money for good causes is a good thing.
So if Hitler took all the gold out of the teeth of the Jews and said, I want to give this to Heidelberg University to fund the Leibniz chairs so that I can study high energy physics, Derek Bach would say that was fine?
Again, it's these questions are questions where good people on both sides, like your Charlottesville, could differ. I don't know the answer.
So,
to these
so
questions.
tell us the two, give us the two answers. The one answer why it shouldn't be, and then the one answer where Derek Bach says, I'll essentially take cash from anybody because I got so many projects, so many good guys, and this is the way I'll do it. So I'm indifferent to where the cash comes from. Money's money. And if I got good guys, I'm the fiduciary that says these are good people and this is good research, okay? I'll take the cash from any source, including you. What's the other argument?
Let me give you that. I know in my case,
Is your money dirty money?
if you look,
I just answered a question. Is your money dirty money?
no, it's not. So in fact,
Why is it
so-
not dirty money?
because I earned it, a heart.
But you earned it.
I earned it
We
legally.
went back to this before. You earned
Yes.
it. You earned it advising the worst people in the world, right? That do enormous bad things, and just to make more money.
So if instead of asking me the question, should you take the money? Because I think it's a legitimate question.
You think it's a legitimate question?
Yes, no
Why?
question. Because I think ethics is always a complicated subject, but I can tell you that with the money I gave to help try to eradicate polio in Pakistan and India, instead of asking me whether that money should be given to these children for vaccines, I think you might want to ask their mothers who received the vaccine, who know their child now won't get polio, and ask them if Epstein should have helped these people
If we
with their
walked in,
money.
if we walked in, you're
is
a
that a fair
mathematician.
question?
You're a mathematician. If we walked into that clinic where they're giving that money out to these people that are in the most dire straits of poverty and sickness, and told them that the money was coming from class 3 sexual predator?
Tier 1.
What's tier 1's the highest and worst?
No, I'm
The lowest?
I'm the lowest.
You're the
yes.
lowest. Okay, tier 1, you're the lowest. But a criminal.
Yes.
That the money came from them. What percentage of people do you estimate? I understand you don't like probability. Do you estimate would say, I don't care, I want the money for my children?
I would say everyone said, I want the money for my children.
Did they know where the money came from?
I think if you
See,
told them,
the
if I told them
100%.
the devil
Himself.
said, I'm going to exchange some dollars for your child's life.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Because you have all the attributes. You're incredibly smart. You remember the devil is
Was
somebody
the devil
knows
smart?
The devil's brilliant. You read Milton's Paradise Lost.
No, the devil scares me.
Satan is at the number 1 or 2 archangel, and the reason he goes to hell and leads the rebellion is because he can't be the top guy. And his thing is, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven.
I saw that in a movie once called American Dharma. I don't remember who said it. Okay? We have to go.
Okay, good.
Okay.
That was good.
Hey everybody, Dr. G here. I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist as well as a body language expert, and today we're going to be analyzing the behavior and body language of Jeffrey Epstein. Before we get started with this, couple of quick things. One, I want to
answers in this David case, and one of the most sinister and dark aspects of this case was the allegation that there was actually a man that had groomed Celeste before she fell into the clutches of David, and the rumors that this person actually ended up being murdered. Now, it seems like there is now some evidence circulating that seems to suggest that might actually be true. Now, I want to give a shout out to another YouTube channel before I get into this. This is True Crime with Strategic Eyes. Now, he did a live about 9 days ago titled David Wasn't Celeste's First Rumor. And in this video, he did a really, really good investigative piece on this man that goes by the name of Gus. Now, before I get into it, I want to give you a trigger warning. We're going to discuss some pretty disgusting stuff, excuse the pun. But there's going to be some pretty dark stuff I'm going to be bringing up in this video. And I just wanted to give a shout out to True Crime with Strategic Eyes for his great research in this. Because I previously did a video where I talked about, David might have a second body. There was a rumor that maybe who was this Gus person? He had been killed. Could it be possible that somebody had something to do with it out of jealousy? Well, it seems like that probably wasn't the case now based on the information that we're seeing. But what is coming out is the sordid backstory of this Gus individual who apparently did end up losing his life. And some people are believing they might have actually identified who this was and the gang-related slaying that took place after an alleged situation took place. Now, look, trigger warning, there's going to be some dark stuff that we're going to be discussing in this related to SA and statutory R word. So there were these DMs that were going around a little while ago, okay, and these were purported to be Celeste talking to a friend and specifically mentioning an individual named Gus who she had had relations with before David. This was a back and forth that was going on. And apparently this was her replying. They said, I'm just going to check up on you. And she replied, I don't want to talk to anyone. They replied, that's it. She said, okay, yes, of course. And they said, but you have to swear you're going to stay safe. Are you still going to talk to David or go back with him? Because I don't want you to get in any more trouble with him. She replied, I'm safe. No, I'm not. The friend replied, okay, I love you. I'll text you in about a week. Please don't delete your Instagram. She said, love you too, and I won't. And then they replied, and this is where things get really dark. Someone said, they said, I made it with crying emojis. And then they replied, said it can bleed and not bleed during S because you probably did it when you were younger. I didn't because I wasn't horny. And they replied, you said you bled what? And I said, I thought I did, but I just got my period. I only bled with David. And they said, They said, with Gus, I was just drunk and did it because he got mad at me. The first time for not having S with him. And so this is where the first mention of this Gus individual comes up. And essentially, you know, there's been a lot of debate over who this was, how this ended up leaking, the authenticity of it. And we still don't have the real full-blown answers for exactly what was going on with this. But this is essentially what's going on as far as these images being posted. And bear in mind, these have been circulating for a long time. These have been up for 5 months. These Instagram DMs circulated pretty soon after Celeste was actually identified as the deceased individual that was found in the trunk of David's Tesla. So when this post went around, so I searched up this woman, I searched up this Wildness account and found she followed an account going by the name of Matthew, which is followed by David, and an account Dolce, who looks to be her friend maybe. Dolce follows a lot of people from Cali, which is where Celeste was from. The Dolce account is also weirdly named Help1201. I don't know the significance of this name. I'm only speculating, but the numbers could relate to a date, maybe the 1st of September. I'm not too sure. I also found that David replied to a Twitter account by the name of Dolce. Now, at first I was thinking this Dolce person was actually Celeste under an alias, but now I'm not too sure. Just a reminder, all of this is speculation and none of what I said is fact. Now, obviously back then people weren't really picking up on what was going on. They're saying that David's cooked. You can't get away with committing crimes in this day and age. Well, 5 minutes later, 5 months later, he's not cooked. Okay, not cooked. 5 months later. Now, so this was all going around, people were trying to get to the bottom of this. But what's really interesting, it says, I see a motive for a murder on those DMs. Celeste had sex with a guy named Gus while she was drunk. David most likely found out and killed her. He also unfollowed a guy named Gus on Instagram recently, so it's really suspicious. Now, comments like this and other similar things, look, this isn't the first time that I've seen a comment like this. This was 5 months ago, so this just goes to show you these rumors that David might have had a second body or had something to do with the murder of a guy called Gus. These were going around, but it does seem like these are unsubstantiated now. I want to make it clear. I don't believe that David had anything to do with the murder of this Gus guy, but there is a Gus that's been identified from Celeste's area that did end up getting murdered. Now, what is crazy is that after this, messages from Celeste's brother would further confirm that he was personally aware of who Gus was, right? This is Gus was mentioned in Celeste's messages, possible ex of the past. And so people claim that this is her brother, so that's my sister dog. And they said, fuck it is, you think this is real? He said, yes, I do. I know who Gus is, and he's dead. They said, what happened? They said, he got shot up, dead. They said, you think by David or just some other stuff? Brother says other stuff. Okay, and then they regurgitate that. It says, lead conversation with Celeste's brother. Also, nobody talking about the second body found south, also in a car in the trunk. This whole situation got insanely deeper and deeper as days go by. Now, there was another body found in the trunk around the same time that Celeste was found in the trunk. Again, this is 5 months ago. So the idea that people were even DMing Celeste's brother asking if David was responsible for this other murder, this goes to show you this isn't something I put out there. This isn't something that I've come up with and conjured up out of nothing. This is something that people have been digging into for 5 months at this point. But as you can see, okay, people saying the situation's getting scarier and scarier. There's more people that know they investigate his house with his computer. I hope they share it with the media. Okay, people are trying to work out who this is. Now, this person's name came up, okay, and this was shared at the time. There wasn't too much information about him, but now there's a little bit more information that's circulated. Gustavo Morales, age 21. So someone said there's another Gus who's Instagram active, David used to follow, but young for recently. They're saying so he was 21, she was 10. They're saying if it's the same guy, then yeah, it could be a different guy potentially. Maybe the brother just assumed she was referring to this Gus. They're saying what's the Gus that he used to follow on the Instagram handle? Saying what second body? Where? What the F? So basically, okay, these messages between Celeste and a mysterious person talking about her hooking up with a guy called Gus, they were further linked to Celeste's Discord activity, and they provided more context on this Gustavo or this Gus guy, and there was essentially, you know, more speculation on who the identity might have been. So this was 4 months ago. People saying, I found the Gustavo that essayed Celeste when she was only 11 before she met David, right? People saying that this was her in the Discord saying, I was a virgin until 11 gang, where you at? So the numbers would add up. She's saying, I got essayed, it was so silly, saying it's okay, and then people saying that this is who it was. That's the claim that's being made. Now, there's more pictures of him going around. They said they found his Facebook a few days ago. It says, yes, karma got to him. I wish jail got to this groomer faster for taking advantage of her at a young age. Now, we don't know for sure. Not 100% proven, okay. They found he got this Gus guy. And there was essentially, you know, more speculation on who the identity might have been. So this was 4 months ago. He was saying, I found the Gustavo that essayed Celeste when she was only 11 before she met David, right? And people saying that this was her in the Discord saying, I was a virgin until 11 gang, where you at? So the numbers would add up. She's saying, I got essayed, it was so silly, saying it's okay. And then people saying that this is who it was. That's the claim, of a virgin until 11 gang, where you at? So the numbers would add up. She's saying, I got essayed, it was so silly, saying it's okay. And then people saying that this is who it was. That's the claim that's being made. Now, there's more pictures of him going around. They said they found his Facebook a few days ago. It says, yes, karma got to him. I wish jail got to this groomer faster for taking advantage of her at a young age. Now, we don't know for sure. Not 100% proven, okay. But essentially, there's all these deep dives into different people connected to him and to her and all this stuff. He was saying, I feel like she got groomed, and that's why she was so attached to David as well. It was her way of coping with the trauma that she wasn't over, and she thought it was the only way she could feel love since she never had a good experience with boys. He was saying, speculated to be a different Gus who was a bit younger. People aren't sure if it's this guy or another. I'll try to find it. So I'll try and find the message of the brother saying Gustavo died due to gang violence. All these messages here. Essentially saying, if it's him, he died in October 2020, she would have just turned 10 at that, oldest though, not 11. Something doesn't add up. People saying maybe she lied about her age in Discord before her brother deleted the account. People saying, I read that he pled not guilty and I can't find anything else. I don't know if he was sentenced or not. I really don't know the justice system works in America, but the trial could have not happened yet. Also, do we know for sure that David and Celeste hadn't met in 2020? Maybe we're reading too much into it. I don't know. It feels so weird that Celeste's former abuser was murdered, possibly the case that isn't solved yet. So yeah, so the killer pled not guilty. The killer wasn't Gustavo. It was a 19-year-old. His picture pops up when you click that news, and they're saying that Noah Arath was Gustavo's alleged killer and pled not guilty. So this was Noah who actually got arrested for the shooting, I believe. I don't think, since I know Gus was roughly 2 hours away from where the Tesla was found, I don't think they're connected, to be honest with you. But basically, this has all been going around, and this basically was him who denied murder following the shooting. As far as I'm aware, I don't know whether this case was solved or what happened, but this is the details. It's Lake Elsinore, California. A 19-year-old Lake Elsinore resident accused of gunning down a 21-year-old man in an attack near the lake, not guilty Tuesday for murder charge. Noah Araf Roscoe is facing a sentence enhancing gun and great bodily injury allegations stemming from slaying of Gustavo Morales. Also, Lake Elsinore was arraigned before Riverside County Superior Court Judge Stephen Gallen, who scheduled a felony settlement conference at the Southwest Justice Center. He was being held in lieu of $1 million bail. And according to the Sheriff Department, the shooting happened around 10 p.m. October 14th in the 500 block of Quail Drive near Joy Street, less than 4 miles from the lake. The deputies were called to the location to investigate reports of the man down, discovering Morales dead at the scene. Sheriff Sergeant Steve Roche said the gang task force and central homicide unit investigators identified Bureau Roscoe as the alleged assailant, with no other details disclosed, including a verifiable motive. The defendant was summoned to the sheriff's at Lake Elsinore station, and following interview with detectives, he was taken into custody without incident the next day. He has no documented prior felony convictions. Now, interestingly enough, okay, the Gustavo Morales who ended up dying, he ended up actually having a case in early 2020, about 8 months before he got killed. So basically, he had a criminal history. They said Lake Elsinore on Friday, February 21st, 2020, Lake Elsinore station deputies responded to the 31,000 block of Riverside Drive in the city of Lake Elsinore in reference to a carjacking that had just occurred. Deputies learned the victim's vehicle was taken by 2 unknown male suspects. After an extensive search, the vehicle was located, and investigators were able to identify the suspects as Gustavo Morales, 20-year-old Lake Elsinore resident, and Joshua Carrion, a 21-year-old resident of Lake Elsinore. And they were both apprehended and booked into the detention center. They were also held on $1 million bail and facing felony charges of carjacking, robbery, kidnapping with the intent to commit robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and conspiracy. So they said the investigation is going on, so they've probably done away with stuff like this in our town before, looking at serious time, drop a hammer with those charges and bail. Man, I love it. So these guys were not liked in the community, essentially. That is essentially, people weren't feeling them. They were causing problems. Okay? They were causing problems in the community. People weren't happy, people weren't liking them. And, it's definitely an interesting little aspect of this, the fact that this was somebody who was kind of known for causing problems in the area. Now, whether there's any proof that SA accusation against Celeste can be proven, not right now, there's no proof. But official records do confirm that Gustavo Morales did pass away just 8 months after that arrest. And obviously, I've already explained the shooting incident that happened. Okay, he basically passed away on October 14th, 2020 in Paris, California. And he had his funeral, and he was survived by his parents. So, what's interesting, obviously, is that in the reporting related to the shooting that took his life, it was claimed it was gang-related. So, again, you already know about the incident itself, but this is the details. Essentially, it's essentially, this is the person that, was accused of killing Gustavo Morales, Noah Araf Centero. When Rostro Quartero, he ended up being accused of the murder. Now, I couldn't find any information about him being convicted. We heard about the arrest, but there was really no additional details just about exactly how this worked out, whether he took a plea, whether it was it resulted in a conviction, whether the charges were dropped. It really, really doesn't kind of give any information. And so, interestingly, if you kind of dig into some of these comments on the right side of the screen, you kind of have people debating about this, and this is 5 years ago when it happened, right? So, do you guys have any evidence, or are you just arresting people? When more people learn that their gang is not going to get them out of poverty, go to school and get a career. The gang life brings only 1 of 2 options: death or in jail. People say they usually don't arrest without some sort of evidence, but it seems like this didn't actually go anywhere. People saying so young, 2 lives lost for probably very little. My heart breaks for all involved. People saying I grew up in these blocks, I knew both men for both sides, and they were still youngsters around the streets. Sad to see the streets always win, always hoping for the best. People saying no words can express the sympathy feeling our families for losing you, Gustavo. We'll forever miss you and love you as we gather at home to celebrate your beautiful soul. And people saying if it wasn't justified self-defense, I hope he gets locked up for a long time. I think it's possible. I don't know, I haven't been able to find out anything related to this case, but I think it's possible the charges maybe were dropped on self-defense. The victim did have a history of carjacking. It's possible that maybe there was a situation where it was justified. It says I've done some basic research on the suspect. His active Instagram account no longer has a profile picture. Little things like that make it suspicious, like he's trying to hide from someone. Based on his looks, he looks like the type to use a gun to defend himself. He says you don't have a profile picture, what you're trying to hide, what would you use a gun for to defend yourself. Basically, he said it's looking at Instagram, making guesses about his personality. It's just childish, and I hope he'll never select a jury duty. Okay. So there's more and more comments of people saying great job to the deputies, nice work to the cops. We've been getting Russian roulette, there's no need to guess. People saying no way in hell he did it. Someone saying I saw someone say he freaked out in front of their house. Saying he wouldn't do this. Yeah, it's insane, there must be more behind it. He was saying was the victim the same Gustavo Morales that was arrested for carjacking and kidnapping? I didn't know there was a kidnapping charge. I knew there was a carjacking charge, but I didn't know there was a kidnapping charge. In February 2020 on Riverside Drive, I was just wondering, not that his death was justified or anything like that. He was saying I thought so, but I wasn't sure. I wonder if these 2 incidents are related. He was saying I didn't know him, I knew Josh, he's my familiar. You share his name, I'm sorry for your lost prayers for the family. He was saying way to ruin the rest of your life. He was saying I knew Noah since elementary school, my condolences for both Noah and Gustavo's family. He was saying it's a waste of life, such a tragedy. Saying what a loser, so he decides who lives and dies. People saying what happened to these kids. It's amazing what drugs do to people. Many say no way he could have done this, but there's more to the story, yada yada. Say no to drugs, kids. Okay. People saying Gus was murdered. Yeah, people are just trying to get to the bottom of this. So it's really interesting. Now, if anybody finds out any more information about this this incident, this shooting, and what's going on, please let me know. People think that it's a gang-related situation.
Picture this. You're 8 years old, it's 2004, and your parents are yelling at each other in the kitchen. But it's okay, because you're about to log onto RuneScape with your older brother on the family PC in the living room. You probably have like 2,000 ping and 5 FPS, but you don't need to do those things to type some random people online, kill some goblins, or maybe even venture up to Barrock. Now in the year of our Lord 2026, it's actually possible to recreate this experience, sort of. Hi, my name is Autonology, creator of some very ancient old RuneScape schooling guides that you may have watched like over a decade ago if you were playing at the time. And today I'd like to introduce you to a new series on my channel where I will be playing a game called 2004scape, or the Lost City Project. This game is an open source, free-to-play preservation project that is based on RuneScape 2, starting in 2004 and progressing slowly over time through 2005, 2006, and beyond. The server has actually been available for people to play for almost a year now, and has progressed through 2004 a bit. It started in May of 2004 and has progressed through a few updates to now be at September 2004, which brings possibly the biggest update to the game yet, which is a very scary new boss, the Kalphite Queen. And with the Kalphite Queen comes a new Vessel slot chest armor, which is the Dragon Chain Body. Alright, so like any good version of RuneScape, it starts with Tutorial Island, and it'll probably look pretty similar to what you're used to if you've ever played old school RuneScape. They've tweaked the tutorial a little bit here and there, but for the most part, it's about the same. So let's just zoom through that, and here I am in Lumbridge on 2004scape. And wow, look at the texture of the pathways here, it looks sick. They reworked the Lumbridge graphics in 2005, and I think I prefer the old ones better. So the first thing I always do in Lumbridge is to pickpocket some men, get a little bit of GP to start out with. And I did a little bit of research before starting the game to see if there are any new traps, pitfalls, that kind of thing. And one big thing is that you can actually left click pickpocket NPCs if your combat level is lower than them. And you can't as soon as you get a higher combat level, because the left click option becomes attack. And there's no plugins, there's no menu entry swap or anything like that for this version of the game. So if I want to train thieving with Arty Knights, which is the best thieving method in this game, I have to keep my combat level below 46 for all of the thieving training I want to do, really, unless I want to have to right click. So yeah, it's generally a good idea to train thieving method in this game. I have to keep my combat level. There's no menu entry swap or anything like that for this version of the game. So if I want to train thieving with Arty Knights, which is the best thieving method in this game, I I have to keep my combat level below 46 for all the thieving training I want to do really, unless I want to have to right click. So yeah, it's generally a good idea to train thieving to maybe 82 for Chaos Druids and Yanel, maybe even 99, or if you're super crazy, you could actually go for 200 mil thieving before you can train your combat past 45. So that's what I did. Yeah, I've been playing this game for the past year, dude. There's no way I would miss this opportunity. I've been
Tell me what drives you.
so level below 46.
Kind of awesome because you're always watching like an important play. You're always watching someone, oh, that was so bad. You're always watching someone putt for birdie or tee off or something like that, or make like a crazy approach. There's like close to zero downtime for a sport that has a reputation of being kind of boring to watch on TV. I respect the viewing experience, but I have no connection to any of the athletes, and as a result, I find myself kind of bored if I'm in a situation where it's on TV. Now, I can just pick someone to root for, I guess, but, you know, professional athletes and, you know, getting attached to them before I know anything about them doesn't always work out that well, I suppose. And also, I just don't really, I guess I got other stuff going on. But if you like golf, more power to you. I've just never gotten into it myself. Similarly, hockey, I'm really into it. There can be a lot of boring hockey games, bro. I mean, I just watched the Canucks beat the Ducks 2-0. That's a soccer score in a hockey jersey, man. And defense can sometimes be fun to watch in soccer. In hockey, it's like, I really would like to see some goals. not to be, like, too smooth-brained, but you can still see some very, very beautiful plays in soccer at 0-0. An angel deal? I might have had a 1% chance to get an angel deal, bro. This is kind of crazy for a guy like me. I literally use a bomb. That's so funny. I have infinite bombs. So I hate to say this. You're wondering why I'm talking about being a sports guy? It would be so easy for me to lie and aura farm on the internet by saying like, oh, sports are stupid. Bunch of overgrown man children getting paid too much money. What does Mama Boucher say in the Waterboy? Either way, but unfortunately for me, I have to be honest, and for the most part, I like sports. That being said, take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, but I get very surprised would be a polite way to put it. I get very surprised when someone tells me that they're going to watch a 4 to 5 hour long American football game just to see the worst entertainment that has ever been created by marketers, which are Super Bowl advertisements, where the Super Bowl ads are essentially like, I please hope they get 3 actors together from a show that hasn't been on the air for a while, so I can see those characters together, and then at the end of it, they try to get me to buy a cryptocurrency or something like that. Please. Oh, I need to see the cast of Glee singing a song about car insurance. Oh, this makes the whole game worth it. That's crazy to me, man. Like, you do you. At this point in my life, I'm nearing 40 years old. I don't feel like I want to be the guy who's like, I'm really excited to watch 4 hours of commercials. Now, I'm not even excited to watch 4 hours of American football, but, you know, I'm at the point in my life where it's basically homework. I have to do it, A, because I like it, but B, because I gotta keep up in conversation with the other dads who are gonna watch the Super Bowl, especially because I live in Vancouver, which is basically like, well, okay, this parlance is a little bit more problematic given the state of attacks on our sovereignty, but it's kind of like, culturally kind of like Canadian Seattle, also geographically kind of like Canadian Seattle. We got a lot of Seahawks fans, is probably the better way to phrase that. So yeah, I would consider, we're kind of like the 13th man up here. I know you guys have the 12th man at CenturyLink Field or whatever, so maybe that's the baseball stadium, Safeco Field, Safeco Park, I don't know, it's been a while. And I'm not trying to curse you. I'm trying to help you. I'm getting every transformation, bro. Oh, what a lovely day. Kind of like what if Donald Trump was in Mad Max Fury Road. And it was a lovely day. Boy, boys, like, never drive uphill me. I'm gonna steer away from that because my impression is not that good. If your impression is good, you can do it no matter how hack it is. But if your impression is as bad as mine, you really gotta wait for a good time to do it. It's gotta hit on content because on form and affect, it's not getting there. Yep. Yeah, I mean the Super Bowl ad. If anything, I would love to watch the Super Bowl ads on like a local broadcast. But there's that joke from Twitter a couple years ago that was like, watching the Super Bowl in Canada is crazy because everyone's talking about the ads and you're like, yeah, I didn't know The Good Doctor airs every Monday at 8 p.m. on CTV. That's extremely true, but we can get more local, though. I wonder what the ads are like on like the Victoria, Vancouver Island Super Bowl broadcast. Is it King of Floors? I'm the King of Floors. He's crazy for that one, man. I think we're about to have the easiest run of all time, by the way. You guys think Dune Messiah is actually going to come out this year? You know Handel is sitting at home, like, waiting for the call. They're really not going to have me score this one. No offense, Ludwig, I forgot that, Goransson. No disrespect, Ludwig Goransson, but I mean, the Messiah, that's my domain. Yeah, you're in Handel's house now, buddy. This is advice for you next Christmas season. If someone you love very much is playing in Handel's Messiah chorus, you are going to have to go watch it, but you have my sympathy. But if no one you love is playing an instrument or singing in the chorus in Messiah, do not go see it. I know you're like, I kind of like the piece. Yeah, everybody likes the part where it goes, hallelujah, hallelujah. Take it from someone who's seen the performance a few times because someone I love was performing in it. It was not Handel, by the way, it was my wife. Although I do handle her with care. Because she's very precious. I did not say fragile, I said precious. You can handle precious things with care as well. And it's literally like 2.5 hours of like, when is the Messiah part going to happen? And then it happens, and then it's over. And even the Messiah part goes on. You wait the whole time for the Messiah part to happen, and then when it's happening, you're like, is this really still going on? Like, they just keep saying hallelujah, bro. Obviously, we got to grab this. They don't synergize, man. They don't care about me at all. Nobody want me. Anyway, no, it's not, by the way, you might be more cultured than I am. It's literally, like, not hard to do. It just seems that way online sometimes, but it's not hard to do at all. Mocked. So you might be saying, what the heck? That's one of the best choruses that's ever been written. Okay, bro, but like, I mean, I've seen Captain America Civil War. Like, they don't got Spider-Man in the Messiah chorus. Like, we're dealing with a different world now. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure Spider-Man can save the Messiah chorus. Yeah, although, to be fair, a hero can save us. I'm not going to stand here and wait. Sometimes the bombs work. I guess they can't have more than one synergy at once. So it's like, or maybe it's a weighted average or something. I'm going to level with you, chat. We're at what? We're at depths 2? I don't really see a need to go to the item room when we have the occasional brimstone bomb. Like, I'm feeling pretty set right now. If anything, and I'm not promising we're going to do boss rush. I'm conscious of the fact I'm talking to a bunch of like 31-year-olds about whether I'm going to like do an optional boss in the Binding of Isaac. So I'm going to try not. I'm going to steer away from that line of reasoning as much as I can. I don't think any of this is going to be good, unfortunately. I wish that like chocolate milk would make for like a charged bomb or something, but I don't think it works like that. But either way, sometimes I forget. You got to remember, two big things have changed in the world of YouTube Binding of Isaac episodes for me. I have been recording these mostly on, but obviously off and on lately, since I was like 23 or something, and now I'm 37. But, and I mean this sincerely, in a more pressing way, the average person watching these has gone from like age 16 to like age 28. So I have to not talk to you like you're a kid anymore, and like person 23 or something, and now I'm 37. But, and I mean this sincerely, in a more pressing way, the average person watching these has gone from like age 16 to like age 28. So I have to not talk to you like you're a kid anymore, and like, sorry to force you to do some adulting. I know that's hard for my generation, so I don't want to pass on that trauma, but I can't keep coddling you and acting like it's a serious question if I'm going to do the dross or something like that. It doesn't matter, bro! It doesn't matter if you were watching the news. This is not the real thing to be concerned about. I don't think anyone is concerned, which is why I'm trying to stop myself from talking about it as if someone is concerned. We can't be worried about all that, man. The more that they add to the game, the more they take away from our soul, maybe. I don't know. I really just wanted to tie it up in like a more literary sort of way. I guess Bob Trevino likes it. Good movie. A lot of people are calling it tearjerker bait, but I liked it a lot, man. I gave it a 4.5 on Letterboxd. I would honestly say it's risen to the top of my John Leguizamo ranked. I'm going to do a Letterboxd list for every actor I've ever seen any movie in. So I think it's basically like 100,000 lists. I haven't seen 100,000 movies, but I've seen at least 750 movies, if I had to guess. Possibly a little bit more, or maybe a lot more. And each one has had at least like 100 actors in it. Well, not each one, because Phone Booth, that one only has, well, I guess you gotta count the extras as well if you're gonna be honest, so that's gonna be tough. What's my John Leguizamo ranked? I would say top of the list, maybe Bob Trevino likes it. Second, by the way, this is not a coolness ranking, so if it's a coolness ranking, Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet goes number 1 for sure. I would probably say second is The Menu. It is still really good, I think. And then third would probably be Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. And then fourth, but it's almost first, is of course Gamer, to be honest, so that's gonna be tough. What's my John Leguizamo ranked? I would say top of the list, maybe Bob Trevino likes it. Second, by the way, this is not a coolness ranking, so if it's a coolness ranking, Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet goes number 1 for sure. I would probably say second is The Menu. It is still really good, I think. And then third would probably be Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. And then fourth, but it's almost first, is of course Gamer, the Gerard Butler movie where like if you're in prison, you get like a brain chip, and then some professional gamer at home controls you in like a first-person shooter type setting. And if you win the game, you get to, it's kind of like a riff on Death Race. You get to like leave the prison if you win the game. It sort of doesn't. It's been a long time since I saw it. And then of course number 5, The Pest. Number 6, Spawn. Oh, and I forgot he's in Johnny Wick too. John Leguizamo had a heck of a career, man. May the darkness swallow all around you. Yes, please. Sorry, that was clear. I'll droll, Niles. Anyway, that's me when I put my sleep mask on. I don't wear a sleep mask, but I'll tell you one of my resolutions that I've stuck to well is wear pajamas. And you might say, what's the point? And I would actually agree with you 100%. The point of making a resolution to wear pajamas is to wear pajamas more. What value do you get out of wearing pajamas? Not much. I'm not going to say it completely changed my life, but it does kind of feel nice to be like a guy. I feel like, it's dress for the job you want. I feel like more of a grown-up wearing pajamas, to be honest. It's like look good, feel good. It's like when I go to bed dressed like a dad, I feel more like a dad. I think I act more like a dad, and that makes me a better dad. But it's very minor. I'm not suggesting you can't be a good dad if you go to sleep in like a t-shirt and shorts or something. But it's also kind of nice to have pajamas. To be like, oh, it's a little chilly tonight. No sweat for a beast like me. I got pajamas. Whoops. I don't know why I was just standing still. No, thank you. By the way, I mean, it's basically, by the time this goes live, it'll be February, but it's end of January for me. Today's the 30th. How are the other resolutions going? I would say out of my big resolutions, I'm 2 for 3 still, and I can live with that. One resolution was an easy one. That's my bronze level. Wear pajamas. It's nice to put a freebie on your to-do list, man. Like sometimes you fold the laundry, and then on your to-do list you write fold laundry, and then you cross it out. That was pajamas for me. At the silver level, I think I failed. I have not really read more. I read 3 books in January, but they were all at the start of the month, and I've completely lost momentum. And I'm not looking for other stuff to read. It's just I thought I could structure my life in such a way to eke out like 20-30 minutes of reading time, and I just haven't made it happen yet. It's going to take a little bit more effort than I thought it would. But on the gold level, get a more considered and less disordered diet. Chicken potato has really sorted me out. I'm inclined to give myself 1.5 thumbs up to start 2026. Big one still on the list alongside like read a little bit more. Probably make it actionable, but
when we go to launch it, we should. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Etho, and we're back again with another episode in our Let's Play world. It's been a bit of time. Took a little break from it. Hopefully, you're not mad at me. Just disappointed, right? Yeah, no, we're finally back. It's a little weird having 2 series that are so similar to each other. Like, we got this and we got Hermitcraft, right? In the past, it was Minecraft as well. It's like I would always alternate 1 episode of Minecraft, 1 episode of the LP, 1 episode of Minecraft, 1 episode of the LP. And then it switched to Hermitcraft doing that. And then over time, I kind of got a little bit more lenient. It's like, okay, maybe two LPs, 1 Hermitcraft, or the other way around. And then it was like 3 to 1. And then, yeah, it's been 4 to 1 now. which I don't know if I've ever done that before. I think at this point we've established this world's not going anywhere. Hopefully you're not panicking. Oh, he's giving up on it. No. Just want to focus on the hype of Hermitcraft. You know, it's really fun starting out in a new world, and a lot of times when I did alternate in the past, I would miss a lot of the beginning game stuff, and I'd fall behind the other hermits. It would kind of ruin the experience a little bit for me. So this time I wanted to just do what I wanted to do. To be frank with you though, I have been trying to figure out what are the key differences between Hermitcraft and this series. Like, I need to decide what projects to do there versus here. Obviously Hermitcraft is a group-based series, so that makes it a little better suited to things like prank ideas, mini games. We got the Spear update recently, so obviously I can PvP someone over there and actually test it more thoroughly. While the LP world here, it's more of a longer term series, right? So big projects, crazy ideas. You think of like our endless storage room. I would never build that on Hermitcraft. It's just like way too ambitious for a 1 or 2 year series, right? The other thing I realized though is like Hermitcraft has access to a few mods like Flashback, we got FreeCam, and that makes it a little more suited to a faster paced editing style. And also it usually attracts more new viewers. So because of that, I try to keep the projects a little bit more straightforward, not so much in depth, and it's more about getting a lot of stuff done quickly. While here, I do like to go into depth. I think we should focus more on like research or experimental ideas more so here, and actually go into like how stuff works. And speaking of that, I was trying to design some player launcher stuff for our Hermitcraft base the other day in creative, and I was having so much fun with it. So I think first, let me show you what this thing does, and then we'll work backwards on how it actually works. So check this out. Isn't that cool? That was a baby charge. Trust me, we could go a lot higher than that. So I think first, let me show you what this thing does, and then we'll work backwards on how it actually works. So check this out. Isn't that cool? That was a baby charge. Trust me, we could go a lot higher than this. So this device is what's often referred to as a wind charge generator, or at least the ones with the breezes are called that. Like, there's two ways of doing this. You can get a breeze from a trial chamber, you bring it over, you keep them in a minecart, you have them shoot at like an iron golem or something, and you try to catch the wind charges he shoots. Is one way of doing it, and you get them for free that way. Another way is just to put wind charges in a dispenser, which is a lot easier. And that's what I'm doing here. Wind charge condenser might be a better name for this. Anyways, I designed my very own one here, this device I made, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. A lot of these get very big and complicated, and they always kind of scared me. And it turns out they don't have to be. They can actually be pretty simple. So all this is we got 32 charges loaded in here. There's a clock that runs at the top here. It shoots the wind charges through the cobweb, which slows them down just a little bit, so that when they travel 4 blocks, this piston is able to perfectly catch it.
I gotta keep other goals going too. I don't want to lose my pajamas. Oh yeah, I'm ready. We don't even need HP. Is less meaningless arguments, and it's a nuanced one, because meaningless arguments are kind of the bread and butter of my job. But like, there's a difference between like, you are a fool, quesadillas are way better than tacos, and then like getting baited by like the world's most idiotic people online. I think I've honestly made a lot of progress in that over the years, not being on social media anymore. You know, maybe people are still tweeting me, but I haven't opened Twitter in like more than a year at this point. So like, really like not having my day ruined by some insane person being mad at me for something that happened in an Isaac video, which probably in my life has probably contributed to, I don't know, at least like a couple hundred days that were worse than they had any right to be. Not necessarily horrible days, but days that really had no reason apart from that but then to be 10 out of 10. You know, I think now might be the time, bro. Worth. So that, like, not stepping on those rates has been very helpful. But you can still be better at it in Twitch chat for sure. Just it's a process that's rich in mindfulness, you know, because you gotta figure out what's good rage bait to respond to and what's not good rage bait to respond to. And you might say I would just respond to no rage bait, but that's obviously you haven't been online lately, because that's how everybody talks in every conversation, myself included. And I don't think we know how to stop anymore. I'm not sure anybody knows how to get off the train, so we might as well start embracing it, finding some coping strategies. F-Price deals with the devil kind of crazy. Like, what, you just want the left ventricle? I think we're out of here, man. This is what I think a New Year's resolution is good, man. We were talking about, even if they all failed, it's not really a failure as long as you made a little bit of progress, even if you didn't reach the end goal. Like, yeah, bro, I haven't really been reading as much more as I thought, but I did finally read The Death of Ivan Illich. So now I can be like, whoa, that's some Ivan Illich type stuff in conversation. And people will be like, what? And I'll be like, well, we're an agonizing depiction of a man succumbing to disease. Or, like, I guess we had a story where a dude, like, really hated his wife. And to be honest, I'm not saying she deserved it. I'm just saying, let the man die in peace. He was always going, and then his wife is like, are you okay? And he's like, shut up! I wasn't talking to you. I was groaning for the footman who has my ankles on his shoulders for some reason. Like, she didn't get it, man. She didn't get Saturdays are for the boys. Ivan Illich says Saturdays are for the boys, bro. And I wouldn't have read Tau Zero, which is kind of like also for the boys, but in like a negative way, because I think it's like a power fantasy. Or Katie Kitamura's Audition, which I read, kind of understood, but probably should have picked a different book because I thought it was just pretty good, and also nobody I know has read it, so nobody really wants to talk about it. So like that one I was just kind of reading for leisure, which is actually awesome. Instead of reading it for like faux productivity to like contribute to conversations at some point, but still, bro, what do you think of Audition? You think it was like a parallel universes type thing? You know, do you think it's about the roles we slip into in life? You know, and how our personality changes based on the scripts we're handed and stuff like that? I don't know. It's a very interesting book at the very least. And the media maxing on the movies has gone crazy, bro. No disrespect to Gotcha, but I could still be playing Gotcha instead of watching movies. And if the year just kept rolling, if we never had a January 1st, I think that would be the case, because I would always feel like, you know, there's no time for renewal. But January is a natural time for renewal. That being said, you know what? I'm actually starting to convince myself February might be worse. I haven't done my months of the year tier list yet. January's pretty bad, but it being the month that renews a year, it doesn't come with just negatives. There's a few positives associated with that as well. A New Year's resolution, a time to take stock. New Year's resolution to me, it's kind of like actual Thanksgiving. Like, we should make New Year's resolutions at Thanksgiving, because that's when you're saying, like, this is what is important in my life. That's a great time to make goals. Most people on New Year's Day are like, oh, can I just get me some freaking French toast, bro? My head hurts. I'm submitting a change.org petition to the United States government. New Year's resolutions should be made on Thanksgiving. Full stop. And implemented at your leisure between Thanksgiving and January 1st of the following year. No purchase necessary. Viewer discretion is advised. Let me see what the frick we got going on. Ah, I keep blowing myself up. I'm making silly voices because I forget you guys are 32 years old. Sorry. Now we're talking, man. Never mind. Actually, I feel like the magnet one is not so... Is it magnet? Nope, not, I don't know what this is. Maybe enemies take damage when they run into us. We got like a Diablo 2 paladin type thorns there. Where did I lose my way, man? I can't figure out... I can't tell you what Diablo we're on. Obviously, they made a Diablo 3. I remember that. I remember playing that. Did they ever make a Diablo 4? There's no shot that there's been a Diablo 5. Has there been a Diablo 4? I mean, younger me would not have missed the Diablo. Let me put it that way. I would have been seated. I swear I'm not putting on airs right now. I do not know if there was a Diablo 4. Is there a Diablo 4? Yes. Yes, it came out 2.5 years ago. Why 11 months ago on r/Diablo 4? Why do we have Diablo 4 but Diablo's not in the game? That's so real, I'm imagining. It says Diablo will likely play a role in a future expansion. I know Path of Exile is all the rage. I'm just saying, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure there's a Diablo. I'm pretty sure I probably knew that there was a Diablo 4 and then forgot. It's pretty easy when you're younger to like maintain all of, you know, the things that have ever come out in your head. But the thing is, like, they just keep coming out with more stuff, man. Like, it's crazy to me that Silksong is out. It almost feels like we didn't wait at all for it. I mean, I didn't even care to play it, to be honest. I'm realizing Tooth and Nail actually means you just stand still and take no damage, right? Yeah. Whoa, chill. I don't know if he can hurt me when he blows up. It's funny how the passage of time works. Like, even though Silksong has been out for like less than a year, it feels to me like there was no wait for it whatsoever. The days go fast, but the years go slow. No, I got it backwards. The years go fast, but the days go so slow. Not really, the days also go pretty fast. I'm not sure Isaac Brock really understood the difference between the clock and the Julian calendar, but it'd be really interesting to see like a Google Trends graph of the search popularity of Isaac Brock. Because you know that was peaking probably like maybe 2006. But then also there's got to be a big peak like in the 19th century when that one admiral dude was like doing his business or whatever. I thought I was accidentally going to have to fight the secret boss. That would have been a disaster. Well, for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like button. Also, great. Subscribe to see you in the future. I'll see you next time. Later. Really interesting to see like a Google Trends graph of the search popularity of Isaac Brock. Because you know that was peaking probably like maybe 2006. But then also there's got to be a big peak like in the 19th century when that one admiral dude was like doing his business or whatever. I thought I was accidentally going to have to fight the secret boss. That would have been a
It depends who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to a head, I'm going like Network, 1976. If I'm talking to like one of my girlfriend's like coworkers, I'm going Hot Rod. And guess what? Four watches in, it starts to get infectious.
And nobody wants to watch Network more than once.
No, dude.
Yeah, he's mad as hell. He's not going to take it anymore. Okay, like, move on.
You want to watch Network? The social network? Turn on Twitter, man. You watch it outside your house.
It's facts.
I love your walking too.
Sorry, are you guys progressing or going backwards right now?
I have absolutely no idea.
I think we're heading towards that white arrow. And I think you guys are going the opposite direction.
You mean the one piece of information on our map?
I hate to be direction maxing. That's not my vibe. You guys know me, but I do think that's the way we're supposed to go. Did we lose the hostages?
No, I think they were just like we killed the people that were keeping them there, and then they're just gonna make their own way home or whatever.
They live nearby, yeah. Okay.
Because like, I mean, how would we know?
I can't even. I have no idea where to go. I do see a rope that we can climb. No, we can't. Where do we go from there? I don't know where to go.
It's 40 meters. Oh, directly below us, perhaps.
Dude, I have to buy a suit this week.
Special occasion?
Special occasion. Well, yeah, I guess I'm going to a wedding. It's a special is like the amount of weddings you go to when you're 29 and about to turn 30, which is quite a lot. But I've been thinking a lot about it, and I'm like, you know, maybe it's time I finally get like a nice suit. So all the suits I've ever owned have just been like off the rack at the mall.
Yeah,
I've never like put money into a suit. And now I'm like, well, okay, like I feel like if I'm gonna have one suit, that's like money well spent, right? But I don't know if I'm actually just getting duped into believing in men's high fashion capitalism, buying the expensive suit. Like I can wear the cheap suit for the rest of my life. Does anyone fucking care?
What are you talking about? Just go get a fitted suit, man.
But like, do I buy one?
Why you throw around capitalism?
Do I buy like a $200 like suit?
No, man, go spend like $1,000 on a suit and get it tailored. You'll have it for as long as you live, as long as you don't gain too much weight.
I had the opposite. I got one when I was at my fattest, and then I lost a bunch of weight, and now I look like a damn idiot.
They can fix that though, because they can make the clothes smaller, but they can't make them bigger, bro.
I never thought. I just keep buying like a new suit every 6 months.
Like
that's way smarter.
Buying like a Ralph Lauren purple label, but getting like 8 size bigger, and then at the wedding being like, I used to be actually like really
That's
fat.
actually awesome.
I used to be really fat, and the suit was $2,000, so I'm just gonna keep it. Yeah, I've been working actually really hard. And crypto hit, so I'm pretty much just coasting right now.
Go get a suit, man. I want to see you in a white suit.
Yes. I'm gonna get like
No, you're not gonna get a white suit because then you can't wear it to like a funeral as well, and it's just gonna be the same problem again.
You got a white suit with like a big wine stand on the front, like someone threw wine at you for.
You can't wear a white suit to a funeral unless you're like a cowboy with a cowboy hat on.
I don't know. I don't know if you can ever, unless you're fucking Mike Jack. I don't know if you can do that at all, dude.
I don't ever wear white at my funeral.
Was Michael Jackson a white suit guy? Or just a
White glove, white glove.
See,
So
you
they
see
call
how
it
I get
white
that
glove
mixed up. Is it? Is that why? Because of Mike Jack?
I don't think so. Have you watched a clip of Michael Jackson recently to see him move instead of just having it in your memory?
No. What? No.
I have a controversial opinion. Great dancer, obviously. He was doing a little too much.
But dude,
Every
was he not
two
because people were fainting when they saw him?
I mean, he was doing a straight leg kick straight ahead when there was nothing in the song to indicate that he should be doing that at all.
Bro, you need to realize that back then that was innovative.
I think the crowd was doing too much. I think Michael Jackson was doing just about enough.
Y'all don't know what he went through,
So a
bro.
lot of
Of course he
people
was doing too much. He had a damn Ferris wheel in his backyard.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So a lot of people say he's doing too much. Or it's more,
Well,
a lot of people, the prosecution was saying that he was doing too much, and of course he was acquitted, I believe.
I watched the documentary. You know, I just can't get behind the guy's vibe.
No, he didn't have a great vibe. Actually,
Roger,
I think his vibe was probably super up. That's why he got away with as much as he did.
You want to go in on that one?
I don't know a ton about it, but like, was it the whole thing? Is that he was like, I don't know. I'm gonna say it wrong, so it's not no reason. But I thought he was like getting people's parents to give their kids to him, basically.
Yeah.
Or is that wrong?
No, I think
mean,
it's pretty much.
surely-
I mean, not to like raise them, but just to have them,
Right.
ride the Ferris wheel, like as you alluded to.
Did he have a monkey, by the way?
Yeah, that's Bubbles.
Bubbles, dude. That was Bubbles.
That's Bubbles. Yeah.
But you know
That's
what,
sad,
man?
dude.
If having a kid doesn't mean you get to dangle him off some shit once like every calendar year, then what the fuck's fatherhood even about?
That's the one.
Literally, that's just parenthood.
I took the exact opposite. As a kid, I was like, of course you got a baby, you're gonna dangle it now and then. But now I'm like, I just don't see the use case.
Yeah, but dangling
Well,
a
I guess
kid.
that's the thing. Nobody wants to see my baby when I'm staying on the second floor of an Italian hotel. So I guess until I walk a mile in his shoes, until I lean a mile in his shoes, I'm not gonna judge.
Getting dangled upside down is different than being dangled right side up, though. Can we agree on that?
100%.
Because if there's change falling out of my pocket, fuck that. And it goes the same thing goes for your kids. I know they don't carry a lot of loose change, but I'm
We
dead,
just failed
bro.
a mission.
we failed because we all died.
We just got our lunch money stolen. I don't know, man. I just want to be able to dangle my kid.
Sorry, y'all tried that crouch.
Yeah,
I
that's
want to
what
dangle.
happened.
I want to dangle things over my kid's head. I want to hold things that don't matter over my children's head when they're growing up.
You know what's crazy is that they actually love it.
Do they?
It's one of their favorite things is to be
Really?
like not able to grab something that they want to grab for some reason.
Oh, I was talking like figuratively.
medicine?
No, I mean like you want the 3DS?
Oh,
better
okay.
vacuum the living room.
Yeah, that sadly
Every-
doesn't work.
Yeah, there's no way they like that.
Yeah, if you figure that one out, let me know.
I mean, can you kind of train your kid to be into like anything if you just be like, you can't have that. Don't look at that.
Yes, that does work.
You think?
Except the way that it usually manifests is that like it doesn't work at all.
Like it doesn't work long term, or what do you mean?
No, it's because they're as much as I thought this before I had kids too. I thought basically all kids are stupid and NPCs, and I will just mog them with my superior adult intelligence. But it turns out they have like
children NPCs, dude. Where I draw the line.
I think it would kind of be sick. Imagine just having like a Charcy child, and you'd be like, hey, go clean your room, and they'd be like, yeah, as you wish.
As you wish, yeah. Well, I think kids and babies in particular are getting smarter. I heard Peekaboo fell off.
Probably,
yeah,
no,
they
that
don't
would never
shit.
fall off. What are you talking
I heard you put your hands over your face, and the baby's just like, I have a complete understanding of where you are right now.
about?
You know what they're always wondering is where's the damn iPad?
I was about to say, what do you do about screens in your household? What's the screen policy at the NL household, bro?
You guys aren't gonna tell anybody, right?
No, of course
We'll
not.
freaking find out.
No one fucking watches Jack Flippers.
along with the Michael Jackson stuff.
Yeah. We got like 35 minutes cut from this episode, so.
This is never gonna see the light of day. So we limit it, and especially like when she's watching YouTube or something, we always pay attention to what she's watching, so it's not total brain rot garbage. And I'm drawing a distinction here. Occasionally, her related videos will just start feeding her Bible stories, which is not like the end of the world, but it's a little bit over the line.
Yeah, it's like you want to be the one to introduce them to that.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, sweetie, how was that poem you saw earlier? Well, that highly abstracted concept. It's really an allegory for anything in life. How do you feel about that earlier?
But I do
Talking
sort
about
of not yet. I'm gonna save that till she's 6. Also, I need to learn about what it is first, besides just the name, which I guess maybe it's self-explanatory.
Hey, they were up to no good. I'll tell you that.
Many men doing many nefarious things to angels, and God had punished them. A little bit of lesson in
Pretty
Sodom
much.
and Gomorrah. That's what I know, at least.
Pretty much, bro.
That guy shouted
Everything's
cool
not
runnings when he
pleasure,
came
bro.
down here.
Oh my God,
We
what's
walked
up,
into the tunnel and he went, cool runnings. It's like he was trying to be part of the conversation from earlier.
Yeah, from earlier. Hey, buddy, catch up, man.
Wait, how's your daughter?
5.
Okay, has she done anything where you're like, damn, you're just as nerdy as I am?
Yeah, 100%.
You're seeing it early?
Really, really early. Like she is into Minecraft, but not into playing Minecraft, but into watching other people play Minecraft on YouTube. She's kind of in that like proto Yogscast stage, and she likes Star Wars a lot, and she likes Among Us a lot. Again, none of these she really has any concept of beyond that they exist, and she's seen A New Hope, but she's really into the idea of all of these things.
You know what?
Oh,
My
she's never
daughter.
played Among Us?
She's never played Among Us, but she likes Among Us. She has an audio book on Spotify that she plays for me that's like 100 tips to be a better imposter in Among Us. So now I
my
know
God.
if you're gonna fake a task, you always fake a one action task. I don't know what that means, but if you try to fake a 2 action task, people will be like, whoa, why is the bar not moving? If you fake a 1 action task, you might be okay.
She's gonna ask for like a shiesty for Christmas. She's up to no good. She's
And I
gonna
would
be
get
an
it for
imposter
her.
at
I would
6.
get it for her as a girl dad.
It'd be cool
That's my right.
if after that, if after that audiobook is finished, she moves on to like Sapiens or like a course.
You're on this anthropology.
I can't stop thinking about it, dude.
What did you listen to earlier? Like, what are you on today specifically?
Bro, I don't know. It was something on. It was like the Daily New York Times podcast. They're just talking about Neanderthals, and I just can't stop thinking about how crazy it would be if you found a sloped skull, and then you're like, nah, I don't know, it might be a bear or something, and then other sloped skulls and skeletons start popping up, or like people start, would that not be crazy to you? Or like,
But did
I
this
don't know,
happen?
yes, bro, that's
Okay.
what happened to him.
And you know
Can
what?
you imagine?
You know what
Can you
Alex
imagine being like, are you an archaeologist? If you're okay, if the people like, I don't know if you're an anthropologist or archaeologist, right? But imagine you're doing like 3D etching of like the Amazon, and you're like, oh my God, we just found remnants of a city that existed 10,000 years before we thought that civilization even existed, and you like push the boundaries of the field you're in. Do you know how good that must feel?
That's gotta be what makes it all worth doing, for sure.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get so passionate, but
No, I was thinking about that. Like, you know, we always talk about like the people who like they dedicate their life to like curing diseases and stuff like that. There's like 10 times more people that dedicate their life to researching the thing that ends up not helping at all.
Oh,
They
yeah.
literally spend like 50 years researching like the wrong chemical or hormone or something like that.
just injecting sugar into ants or something.
That sucks so bad, man. Your whole life just as a lie, like just getting in the way, but having good intentions.
Like,
Oh my god, I've never thought about that.
And they're like heroes because someone's got to do it, so we at least know what doesn't work. But they're literally like, oh, waking
yeah.
up in the morning, oh, at least I'm doing a good thing for society. Like my job has purpose. And then like 70 years after they die, assholes like us are like, can you imagine ever thinking that? They were so stupid, man.
Can you imagine thinking we're the center of the universe? The guy spent like 10 years developing that concept.
Well, that guy just he just cured pancreatic cancer in rats, dude. Y'all see that?
No, wait, what?
This cancer researcher who's kind of spent his life trying to do this just figured out he cured pancreatic cancer in rats.
Huge news for
Apparently-
rats.
well, yeah. It's big news for
Turns
rats.
out it was just an Erewhon smoothie.
Dude, I had everyone earlier, but yeah, dude. I mean, apparently it's one of the most painful cancers, and now I won't have to get it because I like to fucking tell on people. You know me.
It sounds crazy saying this because you just said I went to Erewhon. I also went to Erewhon yesterday, but it sounds like we go to Erewhon a lot, which I don't.
I just wanted some tortilla chips from there. I don't. When I go to that place a lot of times, I often think to myself, who the fuck do I think I am? But tortilla chips there, bro. If you go and get some tortilla chips and some chicken salad, dip the tortilla chips in the chicken salad. Yeah,
Yep.
it's nice.
$60
Sounds
well spent.
incredible.
Do you guys have Erewhon in
Like
Canada?
100 bucks.
No,
Yeah.
we have our own expensive grocery stores, and we have Whole Foods, but we don't have Erewhon, at least not yet.
What are they called?
Vancouver seems primed for the Erewhon demographic.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've been to downtown Vancouver. It's just waiting for some like a tone deaf grocery store.
They're all
Next to a
leaving.
hockey rink.
Yeah, they're all
iShowSpeed
leaving
ever been to
downtown
Vancouver?
I don't think so. Maybe
Hey, let's get in there.
after he
Let's
leaves
get in
the-
there.
I would love to take iShowSpeed to a Vancouver Golden Knights game.
Dude,
I volunteer.
bro, he would. Do you think it would be the same reaction if iShowSpeed goes to Vancouver as it is, say, he goes to like Ghana or something?
From him or from the
From the general public. The general public. Well,
He's like in the middle of Vancouver rubbing like shea butter all over his chest.
He could probably do that here if I had to guess, but I don't know what.
They go
Not
crazy for him
handmade,
overseas.
not handmade, not the kind that you can eat out of the fucking jar.
That's true. Did he get really sick? Didn't he? I don't want to make any aspersions. Did he poop his pants in? I thought they had him eat something that made him poop his pants.
You know what? It wasn't even
That's
a
life,
vacation
man.
if you don't eat something that made you poop your pants.
So he ate something fibrous. Oh,
Well,
that's
no,
a crime
because I
now.
don't
That's a
think
crime
it
now.
It's crazy we're talking about that because I just tweeted today about a fiber supplement I found at Target. The first one to ever work for me, man. It's actually crazy.
Oh, I'm in on it. So
It's moving. Everything's moving. If you guys are wondering,
That's dude, honestly stuff I love to talk about.
do you have any struggles with that?
Yeah, I mean it's the same. It's basically just fiber. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had constipation since I was like a child, basically, and pretty much nothing has worked until I got Target gummies from Target that are working.
not me though. Y'all be easy. I don't know how.
You're just fine. You're just
Yeah, I
fine.
don't know. I feel pretty normal. I
That's
can
like
like it more for sure, but
I'll use Gushers and Erewhon salad.
it's not true.
Difference between 31 and 37 for sure.
Oh, I can already feel my body's kind of like rejecting some of the foods I would normally eat. Where it's like red meat's like harder on me than it's ever been, which is tough because as a man you're supposed to eat those ground beef slot bowls like 3 days a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely changing for sure. Can I ask you something, bro?
It sounds like I should say no, but I'm going to say yes.
You're gonna like this one. What's the sexiest you've ever felt? Rejecting some of the foods I would normally eat. Where it's not true.
Difference between 31 and 37 for sure.
Oh, I can already feel my body's kind of like rejecting some of the foods I would normally eat. Where it's like red meat's like harder on me than it's ever been, which is tough because as a man you're supposed to eat those ground beef slot bowls like 3 days a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely changing for sure. Can I ask you something, bro?
It sounds like I should say no, but I'm going to say yes.
You're gonna like this one. What's the sexiest you've ever felt?
It's such a good segue. I got laser hair removal on my back 2 days ago, so maybe it's at the laser appointment for sure, man. Although
That's
actually,
good.
you have to shave before laser. I don't know if anybody knew this before I did. And shaving your own back does not feel sexy. And then when the stubble grows in, it's like 10 times worse. But
I don't have a chest area yet, dude.
that's so crazy. You're honestly so lucky. And I know you're saying stuff like, I wish I had just a little. But like, it's so much.
I don't ever
better.
want it, bro.
I'm glad
I
you
never want
appreciate it. I'm so sick of
Because
dealing
you
with
sweat
people.
through your shirt a little bit, you know?
You
I don't
sweat
wanna
through your
do
shirt. If you trim it, the hairs grow through the shirt that you're wearing, and like they grip it like Velcro. Like you can feel your hair growing through the shirt. It's so insane.
They grip it like Velcro. That's so
that.
crazy.
Dude.
It's disgusting, man.
Did it take off the Ed Hardy tramp stamp?
That's a different laser. I'm told that's a different laser. And I said no thanks.
Did it hurt?
Basically not at all.
Have you ever even thought of that though? Because
Getting an Ed Hardy
as men,
tramp stamp.
no, not even that, bro. Just the sexiest you've ever felt. Because as a man, you don't really think about being sexy too much. You think about providing, think about
Red meat.
being,
meat, yeah.
being on your phone. What else?
Being on-
Combat sports. That's a big one.
Yeah,
Combat sports reviews.
Is
on-
getting into
on
fantasy
YouTube.
football worth the trade-off socially?
Right?
Um,
If shit goes down, where's the closest exit? What's my escape plan? That
yeah,
one
yeah.
seems to come up a lot online.
How much damage I can do with one punch to anyone in this room?
Yeah.
How long does my walk have to be to tell someone about it?
What do you mean?
Something I think about a lot. Like how long of a walk do I have to go on where I can be like, I want to walk today? You know what I'm saying? Like if I just walk like down the street and like less than a mile, I'm not telling someone about it. I'm not like reaping the benefits of guy who went on a walk today. Wow, guess where we are?
There it is, man.
Wow. Wait,
Whoa.
I think it's
Wait,
Luxor.
Wait, where the hell? This is Vegas.
yes, yes, it is.
I think that's Vegas, dude.
Is Trump Tower in this game or is it all fictionalized?
I don't know. Did you have to clear it with Vegas to put Vegas in your game? I have no idea.
I don't know. The video games are kind of doing whatever now. Dude, if I'm Black Ops 7 and Nicki Minaj is in the video game, think about how they feel right now. Wait, Alex, did you not make it in?
It should be in the Wait, what? No, it's just you guys in a control center.
Wait, what?
Wait, let me go back to the lobby to make sure you're in.
No, I
Because then we
should
get to
be
do this awesome helicopter ride on the way back too.
Wait, what do you see right now? Are you in the main menu?
I'm seeing through NL's eyes for the first time ever. What a privilege it is.
Wait, let's see if you spawn in. Did you spawn in? Wait, you're just looking through? Okay, I gotta restart.
By the way, I want to apologize again. I didn't realize this game really sucks.
No, this is good, dude. It's easy to talk when you play it, though.
Oh, we're all
That is
back in.
true.
We're all back in.
Alex, your face has some crazy lighting on it too.
Yeah, you really look like an Apex Twin fella,
Dude,
doesn't it?
Even better the second time. Dude, your face looks like it's
Did you say that already?
I did, yeah. In the drooping phase of like post Botox.
You look like Spoonie from That Guy with Glasses right now.
Wait, what's that reference? You lost me on that one.
I lost you on that one.
God damn it, dude. I wish fucking Chivley or someone awesome was here.
Damn,
I love
shut
Chivley, by
up.
the way.
You said who? Spoonie?
100%. I see it 100%.
I'm seeing fucking.
Oh my god, bro.
I'm seeing Ex Machina Android from the side type of vibe.
You are
I've
obsessed
seen that movie, by the way.
You're obsessed with humanoid.
with biohacking, bro. Did you wake up? That's where we're going, bro. So we gotta know where we've been to figure out where we're going.
It feels so good to talk to some people that are a little bit younger because I'm here to tell you in 7 years it's all biohacking. All anybody my age wants to talk about is biohacking.
It is what it is, bro.
Fuck all this. I'm joining Anonymous this year. That's my goal.
Could be the move.
I'm getting gauges this year.
yeah, I'm getting a body mod. I want like a star in my forehead.
Dude,
that did kind of fall off. The dude's putting stars in their foreheads.
well, body modding? Nah, body modding doesn't fall off.
Specifically that one. I haven't seen that in a
You
minute.
think body modding fell off? Look up Chinese peptides because they are running rampant amongst the coastal elites. Whatever, bro. I'll just be dead. You wanna get on peptides?
Yeah, why not? What the hell else am I gonna do?
You should get the melanin peptide and just get a crazy new tone of skin that maybe fuck this whole show up for us. Dude, basically, any future opportunities we have coming up, which are I'm not gonna get into it, but there's a lot. I'd pretty much even squandered by your skin tone. You're unnatural.
Have you heard that? Have you heard the story of Nuka Zeus? Have you heard that name before on the internet?
I don't think so. Nuka Zeus?
Yeah, so this was a guy. He was interviewed by Vlad TV.
Right, okay.
And he was a white man who was. It's kind of like Rachel Dolezal kind of situation where he was like convinced he was a black man, but he actually went through the process of dyeing his skin. And he has an interview with Vlad where he like it's insane. It's worth watching. But some internet sleuths, it actually didn't take as much digging as you would imagine, connected the dots that he was actually a really old school Super Smash Bros. Melee competitor.
Wow.
Who made one of the most insane and kind of technical early mods of the game, where he put all of his favorite porn stars in the game.
That's so awesome.
The best brain. They're calling it the best brain ever, bro.
Yeah, I'm calling it the what?
The coolest brain you could have.
And you know what? Once everything is finally AI, we're gonna look back and be like, I wish we at least had some of those guys left.
Let's put porno in the game. My skin needs to be darker today.
Dude, it's
Pick me today.
it's worth the deep dive. It's a crazy story.
Dude, I swear to God, my character just tried to sprint and the game shut it down. I don't know what happened. I don't know what animation that was. I tried to get it out. It's like this feels like I'm in a dream. This is actually just what I dream.
It's so
all the time.
slow.
Yeah, it's really, really slow.
It's a crazy dream, too.
Is it? Because it feels all too familiar, bro.
I'm just gonna check out all the sweet ads, like shop
Me too.
clothing.
Yeah, there was a sexy woman on that one, and then there's the bus that the old people get on. The Elder Cruise. nationwide.
Elder Cruises nationwide.
Redwood Horror honestly does look pretty good. Dude, I can't stop throwing grenades!
You think this could go down in Vegas? But there's too many power players to let this happen. I think Dan Bilzerian would shut it down in Dana White.
I think they would sanction it.
Fix it!
I think they'd get both teams franchised. And they would say
They'd fly in like a fucking. They'd fly in like a Logan Paul Evangelion mech suit. Save everything. Be so sweet, dude. I want to get on Polymarket after this and bet on how well this episode does.
Dude, that
What are
Polymarket.
the lines like right now?
Not good, bro.
Not good. Michael Jackson stuff.
They're not good. There's a clip of the peptide conversation just dropped. What the fuck is the objective here? Kill or be killed?
The frame rate is I think the objective is to keep the frame rate up and up.